Welcome to another episode of the CheckDown, man. If y'all could all do me a favor and welcome the new co-host, Andre. CheckDown Dre, as they call him. How you doing, bro? How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. I'm ready to talk about this free agency. Get into it, man.
Yeah, man. J Mick, man. Always here, man. Always, man. What's good with you, bro? How you feeling?
No, no, nothing, man. It's just a rainy weekend up in the Northeast, man. So I mean, just probably gonna stay in the house this weekend. And watch some college basketball, pretty much.
Yeah, man. We got March Madness going on right now, man. Hey, man. I know everybody bracket is ruined. Yeah, I know everybody bracket hurt. I know it's hurting. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody feeling, but you know, free agency has been very active, man. There's been a lot going on. A lot of moves have been made. Matter of fact, what I think last night we had a big move made with Snead to Tennessee. Uh, what he end up getting? 3 years, 76.
Yeah, I think his annual value was like 19 million a year. So I mean, he said he wanted 20, so he got pretty much what he wanted.
I mean, even though he did not probably go to the best team right now. That's they kind of in rebuild stage, but he got
I
what he
don't
wanted. He
know.
gonna be somewhere with some young guys, and maybe they spark something up. They did make some good moves. I think that's what their fifth move in free agency. They got uh they took they rival receiver. They brought him over there and Ridley. Um, who else they signed this offseason so far? They signed Tony Pollard.
Yeah,
They
trying to.
had one more signing. I think it might have been an offensive lineman or something like that, maybe a guard. But I mean,
Yeah,
they are building, and then they got what the seventh pick.
yeah. They got
Yeah,
the seven. I mean, they still got D Hop. He coming back. I mean, they added Calvin Ridley to that. I mean, if Will Levis could play good, then I mean, who knows what they could do this season? I mean, honestly,
I got a question for y'all. So with Tennessee having the moves they've made so far, what's the biggest need at the seventh overall pick for them?
I think it depends on what's there. I think it's hard to say. I mean, you could argue they could take an offensive lineman at 7, but it just depends on how that board falls. Because if one of those receivers is there and they like them a lot, they only have D Hop for another year. It could make a lot of sense for them to go grab one of those receivers with a lot of upside, especially with Traylon Burks up until this point looking like a bust.
yeah. I mean, for me, I think it's like three or four positions. It's kind of like what Dre said. Like, I mean, they can go tackle, which would make sense. I think they drafted a tackle last year, but he ended up being more of a guard. They could go there. I mean, go wide receiver. They could go edge rusher too, man, because they need to. The defensively, like the secondary wasn't good, so they kind of need guys that's gonna get pressure. I mean, or they could go and get someone else in the secondary, like maybe another safety or corner. But first round, I mean, I wouldn't do that in the first round. But like the other three positions, I would try to address in the first round. And I mean, even tight end too. I mean, Bowers might be just sitting there at 7, and like there's nothing better for a young QB than a tight end. So, yeah,
So we all under the impression that the Tennessee Titans moving forward will have Will Levis at quarterback.
yeah, I think that's the assumption. Yeah, because I think what their backup is Malik Willis, and I don't think they're too high on Malik. So I think he's either the backup or the third
Isn't
string.
this a new staff, right? This is a completely new staff. So is it
Yeah,
open competition though? Does he
it's
have an
not just.
opportunity?
I don't think so. They
I mean,
drafted over him.
yeah, I haven't heard that it's an open competition at all. Like everyone that I know that's a Titans fan say that it's going to be Will Levis.
Yeah, they.
I'm
I
just
mean,
thinking like with all the new additions, like it's kind of a new GM. He got hired 2022, new coaching staff, new defensive. I mean, I just didn't know. I was asking because I just wasn't sure. But if so, I think I'm kind of with y'all. Receiver, uh, line for sure. I think I would go line if I was them. Solidify the line. You could figure out what Traylon Burks got now that he's not going to be the key second guy. Maybe he fits into that third role. They haven't really had a guy to fit to be there to let him fit into the third role. Maybe he is a third role type of guy. Maybe he can get in there and play slots, not necessarily the slot, but the third option.
Yeah, I mean, like they got a
Uh,
lot of choices. I mean, like they could even trade down, like I mean, they could trade down and get more. They could trade down maybe if the Jets want to come up, the Jets want Bowers or a tackle. The Jets want to come up from 10 to 7. They could go back 3 slots and add another pick, or I mean, even go further back if they got a guy that they're looking at on their board that they really want. And they know that 7 is not the right spot to take him at. So
I think the Jets are in an interesting situation because I think if Joe Alt start to move down the board, it could get shaky for them. That's
yeah, I
kind of
mean,
that's kind of been the guy linked to them the most. I think if he started to fall, he started getting that 7 to 8 range. They got to be tempted to move up.
yeah, I just think it's this draft is real tricky though because like you got the 3 quarterbacks most definitely going in the top 10, and then you got the 3 wide receivers. At least 2 of the 3 going in the top 10. I think all 3 going in the top 10. And then you got Joe Alt and Fashanu. And like, so if the Jets just wait to 10, they might I mean, like they might be able to get Bowers at 10, but I don't think I think if the Titans don't want to go for a weapon like a wide receiver tight end and like they're not going that route and they're probably gonna take Joe Alt. I mean, that's probably what they're gonna do. And I mean, honestly, like if I got Fashanu or Alt at 10, I wouldn't be mad about it. I mean, Alt is better, but I think Fashanu will be just fine.
But do you think they would be able to get Fashanu at 10 because you got the Bears at 9 and they need a tackle too?
Yeah, I mean the Bears, I don't know what that like.
That's
That's
what
the
I was
problem.
thinking about when I said it, Dre. It was 2 teams. That's why I say it get into a shaky situation if you got the 2 tackles sitting there at like 7, and you
I
think
mean, but
about okay,
there's
if 7 if they take a tackle and then at 9 I got an opportunity that the Bears take a tackle in front of me. Do I move now if I got the opportunity?
Yeah, but the Bears in this draft is like the wild cards in the well, obviously not now because they obviously traded Justin, so they're probably going to take either Caleb or Daniels at 1. But at 9, like they traded for Keenan Allen, but Keenan only got 1 more year left. So what's to say that they won't just draft like Roma Dunze or someone like that if they're there because they know that Keenan only got 1 year left.
You
I
hoping
mean,
that's what they do, but they obviously could think they only got what 4 picks. Their next pick after that is what 30
I think it's
something.
nah, like
no,
that
they
40.
don't pick again till the 4th, if
to the
I'm not
fourth round.
mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. It's either the third or the fourth.
I think you have to go offensive line then at 9. You can't take the
I,
opportunity to miss a lineman.
they could also trade down. I
They
mean,
could.
because yes, I see the point with you only have Keenan Allen for a year, but my thing is you only have 4 picks. Before that, you had 5 picks. You trade one of those picks away to get a receiver. Do you really want to invest 2 of your 5 draft picks in this year's class at wide receiver when you still have other positions in need on the team? I
I
don't know.
mean, yeah, but see, like that's why I think they should like you said, they got like 4 or 5 picks in this whole draft, and they won't be picking again after the 9th pick to like the 4th round. So for me, I would just trade back, man. I mean, like if they really want a receiver, like they can always trade back, like in a range to get Brian Thomas or to get Worthy or Keon. Like there's other wide receivers. I get it that they're not like the top 3 guys. I get that, but I just think capital wise, I think it'd be best for them to trade back because they need more picks. But the problem is when you trade back, someone is jumping up to get a particular player. Like that's like that would be the issue for the Jets.
All right. I got another question for y'all. I got another question. Out of the top 10 teams, who's in the best position to have a bounce back season?
Best
Excluding the
position.
Bears, then. We're going to exclude the Bears.
The Cardinals.
I'm gonna say the Chargers actually because they got the franchise quarterback. They got the new coach, new GM. So they're in a position where like a lot of teams in the top 10 don't have a franchise guy yet. So or I should say a proven franchise guy.
Yeah, I think the Chargers a good choice too. I took the Cardinals just because they do have that second first round pick. And I think if they can go get a wide receiver 1 with that first pick and then just add another piece, they were still a tough team last year. Like they weren't just getting blown out on a weekly basis. I mean, when we played them, I mean we weren't good last year either, but it took a tremendous second half comeback for us to win that game. So I don't know. I think it would be between those teams. Either you're gonna have to go with the Chargers But I don't know because you could throw the Jets in there too. Because Aaron Rodgers getting hurt first game of the season, they're still gonna have a tough defense over there. And if they can fix that line, like there's been talks of Bakhtiari potentially going over there. I don't know. I think it would be out of those three teams though. One of those three.
I like Atlanta, man. I think Atlanta can have a bounce back season. You got. Let's just be real. Okay, you got Kirk Cousins, who is a pretty good quarterback in this NFL. You know what I'm saying? He gonna play. He might not be the best, but he gonna play. He gonna do his job. And then he got an immense amount of weapons that you really haven't tapped the potential of because you've had such bad quarterback play at that position for the last 2 years. It hasn't really been nice. I mean, Desmond Ridder has been bad. You can't really, nobody can sit here and argue that he's given them any type of hope at the quarterback position to get anything done. So with him being in that position, now you have a quarterback coming in who's going to be able to get these weapons the ball in open space. He's going to be able to throw them open. He's going to be able to hit them in places, you know what I'm saying, where they need the ball to, you know what I'm saying, to make some moves to probably get some yards. You got a Bijan Robinson who now can help in the play action game and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I think Atlanta, if they can draft properly at that spot 8, they go get a Dallas Turner and lock that edge up. You know what I'm saying? I think they could be pretty decent, man.
I mean, I feel like they was at the same spot last year. Weren't they like 7 and they drafted Bijan? Or was 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that? They drafted Bijan there.
It was number 8. I think they've been number 8 for the last 3 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desmond Ridder 2 of those years and who was that before? Who was there before Desmond? I don't even remember. Was it Matt Ryan?
I think it was Matt Ryan. Yeah. I don't remember anybody before that. Yeah, I think it was Matt Ryan.
Either.
No, it was Mariota, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Marcus Mariota played a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, my thing about the Falcons is when it comes to the draft, man, like you really can't trust what they're gonna do because you really don't know. Like it's like last year, like people were like they should have drafted someone other than Bijan. Granted, Bijan was good. I mean, but then the coach second half of the year didn't really use Bijan like he should have been used. So I mean, the Falcons they should go edge, but that doesn't mean that I mean like they're gonna go edge rusher at 8 and. Yeah, I mean, like they got the quarterback. I mean, Kirk is a really good quarterback, so I mean, it's definitely an upgrade, and they got some new weapons in there too, via trades or whatever, and free agency signing. So they should be able to take a jump, but we just got to wait and see.
Okay, so right now throughout free agency, I guess we in what I don't even know third phase of free agency. Who would y'all say right now is winning free agency so far?
It's a good question. Me personally, though, I actually like what the Panthers been doing. Like the Panthers have done a lot, like whether it's through trades or free agent acquisitions in terms of signing guys. Because like, so with the line, they had a really bad line, and so like they added a couple guards. One of the guards is Robert Hunt out of Miami. They added him. They traded away Burns and got more draft capital. I think they got an additional second, which is I think 39, and they got a 5th rounder next year. And they've just added pieces throughout their whole roster, whether it be on offense or defense. And I feel like they've done a solid job. No like huge names besides Robert Hunt, but I think for the most part, like they've done a really good job of trying to make that team better.
It's gonna hurt me to say this. Probably the Eagles. To me, I think that Huff signing, Saquon signing, even Paris Campbell. I think Paris Campbell is a guy that, if used correctly, he can put in some work, especially with those other receivers they have over there. Yeah, I think they've had a hell of a all season. They brought back Gardner Johnson to shore up the secondary a little bit. I mean, yeah.
I'm probably gonna say, man, okay, I can't use my own damn team. I wasn't gonna use them anyways, but appreciate that. I probably say like the Texans, man. They brought in like Joe Mixon. They got Dalton Schultz to stay. Noah Brown re-signed. They got Mario Edwards on a 1-year deal. Daniil Hunter came. Aziz Al-Shir came. They made some good. They signed Jeff Okuda, even though he's not really been that great. There's some good depth for him. Like I think they did a pretty decent job of bringing in some talent.
Yeah, but I think the thing about Jeff Okuda, I think they only signed on like a 1-year, $2 million deal. So even if it don't work out,
1 year, 4.25, but only 2.5 guaranteed.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's no risk there. Like, it's all like,
that's no risk.
Yeah.
The Titans did a pretty good job too, man. They got Mason Rudolph as a backup, Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley. They brought in Kenneth Murray, Awuzie. They got some.
Yeah, like they got to keep up with the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Colts, man. Like all three of them teams, they were all good last year. They all three of them were in contention to make the playoffs. Obviously, the Texans made it, so the Titans got to make sure that they keep up. So
we can all agree that it's one team that's losing free agency. What? Am I lying? It's only one team that ain't made a move. It's only one team that's losing all their talent and ain't bringing no talent in. There's only one team.
Talking about America's team, huh?
Yeah,
they brought in Eric Kendricks. My bad.
Yeah, they brought in that long snapper. They re-signed him.
They brought in Eric Kendricks too. They got the linebacker. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's reports that they might.
You gotta get out here and put in some effort, man.
Well, they re-signed Rico Dowdle. They re-signed Jordan Lewis and Eric Kendricks and the long snapper. That's all they've done in free agency.
That's not. They had to re-sign Rico because that's the only running back. Like other than him, who's the other running back on that team?
The midget 5'5" dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, Deuce Vaughn.
I guess the Commanders are. I don't know. Y'all think the Commanders did a pretty good job so far?
I think the Commanders, what they're doing is they're trying to establish a culture. I don't know if it's necessarily about making the playoffs or anything like that this year. I think it's just about planting their own flag, getting their type of guys in the building to set the tone for the future.
And I think for me with the Commanders, it's a mix though, right? Because it's like a lot of their guys went out the door, but then they brought in a lot of new guys. Kind of like what Dre's saying. It's like their GM is trying to bring in their kind of players, and the guys that they determine aren't their kind of players, they just kind of let go, and they just chose not to resign them. So
I think I think the same thing. I think they're building a coach over there, man. I think they're gonna need some groundwork. They're gonna need something to, kind of set some type of stability in the locker room because they haven't had that in a while, man. They kind of been all over the place. What's good, Miss Nina? So they're gonna probably be figuring some things out. But they did do a pretty good job. They brought Marcus Mariota in to back up whoever they draft at 2. Austin Eckler is gonna be a pretty decent running back, in the passing situations. They kept Jamison Crowder. They added Zach Ertz. They brought in Cornelius Lucas. They re-signed him. My bad. They signed Nick
Allegretti.
Yeah, it is. They brought in Tyler Biadasz, Dorrance Armstrong. They've been doing some Frankie Love, Bobby Wagner. They brought in some guys that set some tone.
Yeah, I think they added Chin from the Panthers too, like the Sake was.
Yeah, I was getting down to it.
Chin.
Yeah, Michael Davis, James Pierre, Jeremy Chin. They brought in a new kicker, Brandon McManus. Man.
They brought in a lot of edges, which tells me that's probably not a position they're looking to draft, at least early in the draft. Because, they brought in how many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4 edges.
Yeah.
Bringing in 4 edges, that's a lot in one free agency. Like, that's damn near the whole rotation.
Well, they also got rid of 2. So they had 2 open spots. They ain't replenished on it last year when they got rid of their 2 stars. So 2 of those guys probably camp bodies.
And I mean, for them, it's like they got to go quarterback first round. They got to go offensive line second round. But
They
then
got
again,
two
I mean,
second rounders though. They
yeah.
got two
So
second rounders like almost back to back. I think they got 34,
Yeah,
36 and 40
they have 6 picks or
in the
5
top
picks in the
100.
top 100, and the 6th pick is right outside of 100.
I mean, but they could go wide receiver, or one of those second round, like the second round pick, or maybe in the first one. Like who knows? Like, I mean, like they have Scary Terry. I mean, they got him. I mean, he's the number one guy. But I mean, like they might like a guy at wide receiver that they want to add because they lost Curtis Samuel. So
I was looking at all these signings. I mean, it's a lot of teams that really ain't really shake nothing up.
I mean, the Chiefs didn't do much either, though. Like, I mean, if you want to say teams that
you got to put in work. They didn't do nothing either. Yeah.
I mean, they re-signed Chris Jones was a big piece, but then like in the intro, like we said, like they traded away Snead. So it's like the Chiefs, but I mean, then again, like when you're the champ, I mean, you don't got to do a bunch, right?
The Lions didn't do much either, though.
I think their biggest pickup outside of Hollywood, like I think Hollywood is a good pickup for the Chiefs. But outside of that, I think the dude they call punt god, because I think punter is one of the most devalued positions in football. If you have a good punter, that can definitely swing a game your way. And I remember that kid coming out. He put the ball right where it needed to be every time he punted that ball. And if he's going to do that for the Chiefs, I mean, it's all about field position.
But if you see a lot of their moves, though, it looked like re-signs, though. You know what I mean? They kind of like kept guys. Chris Jones re-signed, Derek Mandy re-signed, Terry Wharton re-signed, Drew Tranquil re-signed, Deion Bush re-signed, and then you said that they brought in punt guard, and then James Winchester, their long snapper re-signed.
And I think they lost the linebacker.
Like they just keep it.
Who they lost? Which one? Like didn't they lose? Was it like Willie Gay or something to the Saints or something like?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean you can't keep everybody, but the fact that they kept a lot of their players, and I mean when you're a Super Bowl caliber team already, the most important thing is being able to keep the key pieces to your team. I mean, we all know why they got rid of Snead, right? Part of it was money, but part of it was that knee. That knee's gonna probably end up being a problem here soon, and they wanted to get out in front of it. So they got to replace him, but I think they're straight with their free agency they just had.
Hey, you know what's funny? Honey Badger signed the extension, and nobody talked about it like that.
Because I mean, he's not the same Honey Badger that I mean we remember like when he first got into the league. Like he's just not the same guy. Like he's still a good quality secondary piece. But I mean, he's just not going to be like the star, like the star player of your defense or anything. So I think that's why I kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah, but I heard people talk about Jordan Whitehead extension more than I heard Honey Badger.
But I mean, but I think it's also where they play. Like Jordan Whitehead plays in New York. So I just think it's different. Like, like it's different markets. So I mean, like the Jets are like everybody. It's kind of like the offseason last year. Like once they got Aaron Rodgers, like everybody it's Jets, like 24/7. Everybody talking about him. And then I just think like when you're in that major market of New York, you're just gonna be you're gonna get more talked about than than a team that might not be in like a major market like New York or like Miami or like LA or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
We signed a fourth quarterback today too. Will Greer.
So you got a third quarterback finally.
Huh? So you were saying like you were saying Kenny Pickett wasn't a quarterback. Heard, I got you.
Nah, you got that running back starting that quarterback.
You don't even have a starting quarterback.
Nah, but I got a head coach that's better than the one you got.
I wouldn't say that. He was throwing tablets last year, I remember.
Hey, I mean, if I had Daniel Jones at quarterback, I'd be throwing tablets too.
Y'all paid him.
I mean, it is what it is. We've got to move on. Wait till we go get Master P in the
You would
draft.
hope. You would hope. But it's a possibility you don't, and then you
Nah,
have another
I
season
just
where you have
actually got a notification. I just got a notification that they're talking about moving on because of the injury history. Not even for
they
the
talking
play.
about moving. They talking about moving from Dak Prescott too.
Yeah, but Dak doesn't have the injury history that a Daniel Jones has. Like it. I mean, you're talking about 2 neck injuries. One of them, they were contemplating if he would even play again. Like it was bad. And then the second one, he lost feeling in his arm and all types of shit. So I think it took him 5-6 weeks to come back from that injury, if I'm not mistaken. And then you come back and you tear your ACL. That man has only had 1 healthy season in his career. We're gonna move on.
You hope, man.
Nah, we're gonna move on. And then y'all gonna be the only team in the division without a quarterback.
Nah, man, you still ain't gonna have a quarterback.
I got that running back
He
there,
mad.
man.
Hey, AJ, man, he just mad. He's still mad. He got abused in 2022 3 times in a row by that running back.
Oh no, I'm not mad. You know we beat y'all in the submission, and we ruined your season this past year. Y'all thought that was a get back game.
You didn't ruin my
Y'all
season.
Y'all thought that was a
my
good
season was
right
already ruined.
No.
Ruined my season. I was already.
We ruined your
we
season.
beat y'all. No.
Hey, your team and your fan base was talking about, yeah, that's the get right game right before the playoffs.
No.
We're gonna get right.
I don't know who said that, but they were crazy. You didn't hear me say that.
Nah, but a lot of people.
The Cardinals was supposed to be the get back game. We didn't get back with that. I was done.
I mean, a lot of people was looking at the Cards like a get right game, and that's just that's not what it was playing.
Jamie, after I said that week, I said we're gonna get back against the Cardinals. When the next week came, I said I don't give a fuck what they do. Is that am I lying?
No, that's exactly
after we lost to the Cardinals. I came right on this show and I said I don't give a fuck what we do. We didn't get right against the Cardinals. We probably not gonna get right. That shit probably over.
I mean, that's the second time we done had Jalen Hurts look like a running back when he played the Giants, though. I don't know. It might be a trend, man.
The second time out of how many games?
Hey, it might be a trend. I'm just saying. We got to wait and see. He had a good season the year before, but the year before that, we had that man looking like a running back. We had y'all ready to go get Russell Wilson at quarterback.
Oh, didn't he almost beat you in clutch time and Jalen Reagor? I thought it was Jalen Reagor who dropped the pass.
Just like Darius Slayton dropped one against y'all?
I didn't think it was Jalen Hurts. I thought it was Jalen Reagor.
Nah, that man had about 2 or 3 picks about 2 years ago in the game we had. I can look it up for you, Smitty. He looked like a running back in that game.
Yeah, he still had an opportunity to win the game with the game on the line, and Jalen Reagor dropped it.
That's because Darius Slayton can't catch a football. That's why you never draft anybody from the University of Auburn, because the University of Auburn is losers.
They're gonna be just like y'all soon.
We're gonna see.
I said that out loud.
We're gonna see.
Yeah, the GOAT ain't there no more.
The GOAT. I mean, the GOAT might not be there anymore, but I got Debo. Y'all come keep coming to get our scraps from over at Bama. That's all y'all can get. Y'all can't out recruit us. You see what we doing right now in the recruiting trail.
Oh, so you saying you knocking J Mick off?
Hey, week 5, we gonna see what happens, man. If it's one thing that I know for sure that Kirby does struggle against, it's against the high-powered passing attack.
Nah,
who's passing? Don't you got a running back?
I mean, Kirby struggles against Nick Saban. Like he don't struggle against nobody else but Nick Saban. So,
hey Jamie, it's funny he said I got a running back, but I'm thinking you talking about a running back right now. Ain't you?
Nah, that's Baby Vic right there. Don't call Baby Vic a running back.
Vic was a running back. What you talking about?
That's Baby Vic right there, man. That's Baby Vic and Lamar.
What you talking
that's
about,
a mix between Lamar and Baby Vic. You take Lamar, you take Vic, and then you get Milrow.
Don't they say Lamar running back?
Hey, and I might got a little baby Peyton Manning sitting behind him. Just gotta wait and see.
I mean, I hope for your sake you don't have a baby Peyton Manning sitting behind them, because if that's the case, there's going to be a lot of one and dones in the postseason, man. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I mean, until y'all could beat us in Atlanta consistently, J Mick, I'm not really worried. That might as well be my second
Don't they
home
got more?
stadium.
Don't they got more wins? Don't they got more wins in Atlanta than you? No.
Yeah,
No,
but the
they
difference
don't.
this year is I mean, but the difference is it's a 12-team playoff this year. So even if we go to Atlanta and lose, we still making the call. So at the end of the day, I don't care about conference championships, man. I care about natty. So I mean, as long as we get there, that's all that matters to me.
Oh yeah, but you got to beat us to get there.
Not
y'all ain't gonna win no natty without beating us.
That's not true. Because because
it's deep down inside, I hope both of y'all lose. Just to be honest with y'all, I hope both
Smitty,
of
y'all not even making the playoffs.
Yeah, man, get out of here! You crazy inside doors, bro.
Y'all not making the playoffs,
man. Bro, who's gonna stop us from winning the ACC, bro?
Smitty.
Who's going to be guiding y'all to victories? Because your quarterback ain't that good, bro. I don't care what anybody says.
It's gonna be DJ this year.
But Smitty,
Travis for another year, but it's gonna be DJ.
My thing is, y'all had all them dudes sit out, right, and got dog walked by Georgia. Those dudes not coming back because it's a new season. You saw what you got on your roster. Y'all finna get dog walked.
There was some guys that's gonna come. We're gonna be all right, man. We're gonna be good.
I mean,
and both of y'all gonna get and Alabama gonna get knocked off by Texas, and Georgia gonna get knocked off.
We don't even play Texas.
You gonna play them in the playoffs before you play me. If both of y'all gonna get knocked off, and
I mean, they would have to be able to beat my head coach first because they can't do it.
Because I mean, Florida State.
I was at a different school, man. Different
going to the league. Like literally half the defense going to the league.
Half of who defense?
Yours. Like half the defense.
Man, we ain't losing half.
Half your offense don't went to the league. You lost both your receivers. You lost your running back.
We did. Okay. We lost like half of the
you
starters.
Lost your tight end. You lost your tight end too. You lost every playmaker on your team.
Yeah.
Nah, we good. We straight.
I mean, you got a couple of Bama rejects over there. Y'all might be all right.
That's great.
Yeah. They weren't Bama rejects when they was playing for you, though, was they?
All of them was, except for Earl Little. Earl Little, only one I like. The rest of them Bama rejects. And I'm serious about that.
Hey, look, I want y'all to remember this now. We're gonna watch the transformation of Dre throughout this college season. As he watch his coach underperform, he's gonna be upset a lot of times on this show. We're gonna understand this. We're gonna be very diligent and very nice to my guy.
Man. Look, I told y'all before, the floor is 10-2. The ceiling 12-0. That's what it is. It's 10-2.
What's your floor and ceiling, J-Mick?
I mean, my floor is to be undefeated like we was 2 seasons ago, man. I expect my team to beat Texas. I expect them to beat Georgia because, if Nick Saban ain't there, bro, I don't expect us to lose that game. I mean, Carson Beck has a chance to be the best quarterback in the SEC this year. Like, he literally can be the best quarterback. So, I'm expecting us not to lose the game. That's just, we've coming off back-to-back natties, and we lost to Bama. We was on the way to going undefeated again, and we lost to Bama in the SEC championship game, and we could not make the college football playoff. So, those are my expectations, man.
I mean, who you going to have at right tackle? Because that right tackle, when the Mims went down, that right tackle you had over there, he wasn't looking too good. If he got to play this year,
but he's gonna get more experience playing. He was backing up Mims. So once Mims went out, it was gonna be an issue. But he going through the whole summer training and spring football and all that, being our right tackle. So I just expect him to be better.
I mean, you can expect him to be better. But one thing I know is everybody talking about what Bama lost. I ain't lose a lot on that. Well, I'm not gonna say a lot. Only players I lost in their front seven, I got 5 stars replacing them, and 5 stars have been in the system. You're gonna see a lot of Quay Russo. You're gonna see a lot of Keon Keeley. It's gonna be a lot of them guys back there. My front 7 straight.
Yeah, but I could say the same thing. I got a bunch of 5 stars sitting on the bench. That was chilling last year, and I got more 5 stars coming in this year because we got the top recruiting class in the country. So the whole 5-star sitting thing, it's cute if you talk to a school like Vanderbilt or like Auburn or Tennessee. That's cute. But for me,
maybe Georgia, Florida State too.
Whoa. We got 4 stars sitting on the bench now. We do, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got
4
5s.
stars.
Like y'all, we got 3s and 4s on the bench. Y'all got 5s and shit like that.
I mean,
we good.
I mean, the one I give you about your coaches, I mean, like your coach hit the portal last year, and like that's how he made y'all team better. I mean, so I give him credit for that though.
There's a problem with building a team like that though, and we saw that problem in the bowl game. Y'all didn't make the playoffs. Your players didn't sit out. The year before, when Bama didn't make the playoffs, our players didn't sit out but they were bought into the culture because they had been in that culture for a long time. With Florida State, it was more of like a microwave success. It was like mercenaries, basically. Y'all hired for.
All right, but didn't we have a top 10 recruiting class this year?
Man, Texas done had top 10 recruiting classes for the last 15 years, and you done seen what Texas done did in the last 15 years too.
Yeah, I mean, Texas it's been different for them though.
Too, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with A&M, man. I mean, like, they literally have a top 10 recruiting class every year, and they ain't won nothing. So I'm just saying, but I mean, yeah, I mean, the portal thing. The problem with the portal, I see, like you bring in a lot of older players. It's only going to be good for you for 1 year because the next year, most of those guys are leaving, going to the league, and so like you got to replenish those guys, and sometimes that can be difficult.
I think we did it again this year too.
I just realized I get a lot of Bama and Georgia rejects.
Well, I guess if it give me undefeated seasons, I guess
Jermaine Johnson, he was a Georgia guy, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Jared Verse.
I mean, so who the Atlanta? We got Sean Murphy. We got Rodell Williams.
I don't know if he was. He might have went. Nah, he was JUCO.
Malik Benson.
Yeah, he was JUCO. He went JUCO first, and then he went over there. I think it was something like that.
Oh, we got somebody from Georgia too. We got Marvin Jones Jr. from Georgia.
I mean, that's about Georgia. Like, we didn't take a lot of players from Bama. Like, you know, I think we got 1 or 2, but not a whole bunch. I mean, most of them dudes went either Florida State or like Ohio State. Like, we just didn't get a lot of those guys. I mean, we did want any. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like, we was I mean, we was aiming for Caleb, but I mean, like we just ain't get.
I'm so happy y'all didn't get Caleb because that safety rule would have been disgusting.
He brought in 5 commits. He brought in Jake Pope, Benjamin Uris, Kobe Young, Trevor Etienne, Michael Jackson Johnson, Xavier McLeod, and London Humphreys.
Hey, that Jake Pope pickup. I haven't seen him play a lot, but I remember last year during the spring game. Who was it? I think it was it Holden? No, it wasn't Holden. It was whoever it was running up the sideline. I saw Jake Pope take his head off. That man can hit.
This man brought all his recruits. That's crazy. Yeah, that head coach brought all his recruits of them.
I mean, everybody buying their guys now.
Jeremy Bernard, yeah. He brought them all with him.
Bernard was supposed to be the one this upcoming year at Washington, but I mean, he's gonna come over here to Alabama now. And that Austin Mack kid, that's the kid I was talking about. We got behind Milroe because I think he ends up starting the season at the second string guy. He's 6'6", 230. He might be bigger than that now. He came into college at 6'6", 230.
But like we brought in 15 or something like that.
I really don't know if y'all win y'all conference this year.
All right.
I think Duke is going to be tough this year. They got the new head coach over there. They brought in Malik Murphy. That'll be tough for y'all. I think Clemson could bounce back this year. Miami. I don't know. I'm high on Miami this year. Usually I'm not, but this year I'm high on Miami.
I mean, Miami gonna be better than they were last year. I don't think you can really say that they're not. I mean, they're gonna be better than what they won 6 games last year. They're gonna be better than that.
They got the quarterback you wanted, Smitty. Yeah. Or your fan base wanted. I don't know if you wanted him, but Cam Ward. I heard all the Florida State guys talking about Cam Ward.
I was 50-50, man. I was 50-50.
And for the football people that don't watch college football, if you do watch Miami, like watch the wide receiver. I can't remember his name. He could have. I think he could have came out this year, but he chose to come back. I mean, I mean, he kind of like Pearsall, but not really. Like he don't have the same measurables, but he's still pretty good though. I think
I
it's
know what you're talking about.
like Strepro or something like that.
Something like that. I
It's,
gotta go look. They
yeah,
got an edge too. That kid Bain is gonna be nice. I think he's a sophomore though, so he got 2 more years. But Bain is gonna be like that.
yeah. Now, I mean, I'm not saying Miami gonna win the ACC. I'm not saying that. I just think they're gonna be better.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
like it's gonna be like there's only so long that you're gonna keep Dabo and that Clemson team down. Like at some point, like they're gonna rebound and actually find a quarterback, and you know, like the defense gonna is gonna be better. So I watch out for them too.
yeah,
I
it's gonna
don't
be
know. It
tough.
felt like they've been quiet, man. They've been real quiet.
I mean,
Who's they?
I think
Who is their quarterback in this coming season? New guy, right?
Klubnik is gonna be the guy again. I think.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it's
okay.
the same guy that they had last year. He wasn't great last year, but hopefully he makes a jump for them for their sake.
He wasn't horrible, but he wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that was also the first year under a new OC. And, you know, not everybody is as fast as learning the offense. So maybe that has something to do with it.
It's a lot. I'm looking at a lot of these draft, these recruiting classes. They got Ole Miss. Ole Miss is the best transfer so far.
Yeah, Ole Miss spent a lot of money this offseason
They picked
bringing
up
guys in.
15 players, 1 5-star, 7 4 stars, and 7 3 stars.
Yeah, they brought in Nolan Smith, who was probably one of the top overall guys in the transfer portal. That guy's a
Who?
monster. Nolan Smith. Well, not no, Walter Nolan. My fault. I said Nolan Smith. Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan is, if he wasn't the
5 star.
top guy in the
Texas
portal,
A&M.
he was up there. That guy is he's like that. Texas A&M had a couple of guys hit the portal though. I
They brought
know.
in Daquan Wright too.
Yeah, I mean they brought in. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they got Trey Amos from us too. And Trey Amos,
Yeah, they got
he was
Trey Amos.
probably going to start for us this year.
I mean, the only thing I don't like about Ole Miss is like I get it, like they've been real active in recruiting and the transfer portal, but for me, until they make that defense better, like they're not going to do anything because like their offense is high powered every year, and their defense has just been not good. I mean, for as long as I can remember, like at least the last 3-4 years has not been good. So they don't. If you know, like if they don't get that defense on track, I mean, I still don't think they're going to do anything. I mean, yeah, they're going to win a lot of games, but I just don't see it with them unless that defense is much better.
Yeah, but that's where they focus most of their funds on. It was the defense. Like they brought in a lot of guys, and then they still got the Perkins kid over there, Centurine Perkins. I think is how you say his first name. But he's nice like that too. Like he made some plays for them
They
last year. I think they brought in like 3 corners. I think they brought in a linebacker too. Like
yep.
they tried to shore that defense up. And if they get that defense shored up, they could be one of the top teams in the SEC this year. Because
So they
outside of
brought in
y'all, they have a light
Trey.
schedule, J-Mick.
They brought in Trey Amos from y'all. They brought in Amarion Walker from Michigan, cornerback. They brought in Yam Banks, safety. They brought in Princely U from University of Florida. They brought in Key Lawrence, safety from Oklahoma. They brought in Chris Paul Jr., linebacker, Arkansas. They brought in Walter Nolan, D lineman, Texas A&M. Lewis Moore, University of Indiana, safety. So they brought in. I mean, they brought in some guys. We trying.
And
I
then,
mean,
I think. But
well, yeah, what I was gonna say was like, yeah, I know they brought in a lot of guys, but I mean, to me, it's I mean, you can have a lot of talent on defense, but you got to have the right DC to coach them guys up. And I mean, like their DC in the past hasn't really been that great to me. So I mean, we just got to wait and see.
you got a point there because they got Golding over there, and Golding was at Bama before, and we literally celebrated when Golding wasn't brought back. Like when it was Golding and Bill O'Brien. When those two guys, when it was announced they weren't coming back, Bama fans celebrated. That was I don't know, but I mean Golding he kind of switched it up last year at Ole Miss. He was a little bit better, so we'll see what he does this year. But I think they have a lot of potential. But you are right; it's going to come down to the coaching and not just on defense, offense too. Lane Kiffin has to call complete games.
You think
Yeah,
Evan Stewart gonna have a breakout season, Dre?
Evan Stewart is hard to say because there was something about him failing his, or he wasn't going to be able to pass the physical that he kind of got broken down at A&M. I like Evan Stewart. I like the talent, but I have to see if he's going to be healthy. And if he's healthy, I think he can have a really big year. Yes.
I think it was a good idea for him to go to Oregon, man. I think that was a good move for the type of offense they run. You know what I'm saying? If he can start getting in that open space and really creating some I guess you would say highlight reel.
Yeah, I mean he had some nice plays at A&M too. Like A&M, I think that they probably had one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in the SEC last season. It just wasn't talked about enough because they weren't using those guys correctly. But that room was deep over there, and Evan Stewart was the leader of that room. But there also have been some rumblings of his work ethic not being what it should be. That he would just not show up to meetings, and he would kind of half-ass at practice and stuff like that. Now I don't know if those reports are true, but if they are true, then that's definitely concerning, and that's something to watch
Is
out for.
is Dante Moore gonna be their quarterback?
No, he came in to back up. Well, I'm assuming he came in to back up Dylan Gabriel because Dylan Gabriel, I think this is his last year of eligibility. He came in from Oklahoma because they kind of pushed him out the door because they had Jackson Arnold behind him,
They came
and
in
it,
together too. They both in the same. I think they both transferred this year, didn't they?
yeah, they both transferred, and that's why I think the plan was probably for him to go sit over there for a year behind Gabriel. Or if it doesn't work out with Gabriel, then maybe he goes in. But I wouldn't expect him to be the starter week 1.
I'm trying to think who else did a pretty good job. Colorado did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
They
like
did all right, man.
they didn't have a choice, man, because like they had to address like the trenches, the offensive line, and the defensive line, because towards the middle to the end of the season, like they were just getting killed in the trenches. And so, I mean, if they want to give Shador enough time to sit back there and be able to process the field, they had to get a much better offensive line.
yeah. I think they have improved the offense line. They brought in some receivers too, so I'm interested to see um if they're gonna let. Why is his name escaping me right now? Help me out. The corner receiver,
Oh,
Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter.
yeah, Travis Hunter.
I'm interested to see if they're gonna let him play both sides of the ball again this year. Me personally, I wouldn't do it, especially with them bringing in reinforcements for that wide receiver core, because I don't think he'll be able to make it through a whole season. So Shador just has to get on the same accord with all of his receivers, get comfortable with those guys, communicate with the offensive coordinator because I think he said something about not liking the option routes that they had in the offense last year. But to me, if you're not comfortable running the offense, you should have that conversation with the OC and say, hey, like this isn't the best offense for my game, or I could be playing better if we implemented this into the scheme a little bit. But I mean, I think they'll be all right, but I don't have them making much noise in the Big 12. I got them between 5 and 7 wins.
That's better than what they had.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, the Big
Yeah,
12 also doesn't have like this gauntlet either.
yeah. I think the issue, like a lot of people are expecting them to make a jump this year. Like I've even heard some people say, "Oh, there's a chance they can make the college football playoff." But I'm like, bro, you got to win. You can only lose like in the Big 12. You can only lose 2 games. I mean, like if you don't win if you don't win the conference and you're not in like a Big 10 or SEC, I mean, if you lose more than 2 games, you're not gonna make the college football playoff. Like, and I get it's 12 teams, but I mean, like the only team that's gonna be able to
Hey,
sustain the kind of losses is if you're gonna be like the SEC or the Big 10. So
I mean,
hey, Dre, how is Caleb Downs gonna look in your defense this year?
you ain't had to do that. That was disgusting. He had to do that. I mean, how is Jordan Travis going to look for you in that offense this year?
He gonna look like he in the NFL.
Nah, I mean, look, Caleb, he did. A lot of people don't know that Caleb's dad had a real strong connection with one of the coaches over there on the staff at Ohio State. And originally he was going to Ohio State. He only came to Alabama because of Nick Saban and Justice Haynes. Justice Haynes is like one of his close friends. And Justice, I guess he told him he was going to come to Bama. He wasn't committed to us yet. I think he was still committed to Georgia at the time. But he told him he's going to end up coming to Bama. He just hasn't flipped yet. And that's when Caleb committed. And Caleb, I don't have nothing bad to say about Caleb. Man. I think Caleb is either the first or second best safety in all of college football. It's between him and Starks to me. That's why I didn't want him to go to Georgia, because that would have been disgusting. But, I mean, we should be all right. We still got Tony Mitchell over there. Tony Mitchell, he didn't play a lot last year, but he kind of got snuck into games to get a little bit of experience. And I think he's a guy that he has to kind of prove himself because he had those legal issues, and he got a second chance from Nick Saban. Nick Saban basically told him like, "Nah, I'm not going to kick you off the team. I'm not going to make you leave. You just got to go sit down for a minute. We're going to suspend you for a hot little minute, and then you can come back and you can earn your spot back on the team." So we should be good in the secondary, and we still got another portal coming up. Like with this portal coming up, I don't know. Like I wouldn't expect Bama to come out of that portal empty. I'm telling you that now. That portal gonna be good to Bama coming up here soon.
AJ Mix. See, I could shoot another shot at him right here. You know what I'm saying? I know another one that's gone that might hurt him too. You know what I'm saying? I know another one, but I ain't gonna keep shooting at my boy.
Nah, go ahead. Take another shot. Yeah. you can take another shot. What you gonna say, Isaiah Bond? I'm not worried about Isaiah Bond, and that is the truth.
But yeah, I mean, like he's not moving a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, he's a cool player, but it's not like I don't view him as being like super elite or anything.
I mean, I'm comfortable with the receivers I got. I got Jalen Hale out of Texas, Kobe Prentice. I got Kendrick Law, who I think he could have a big role this year. We got a couple other guys, but I think the biggest name. We got Caleb Odom too. Caleb Odom is like Kyle Pitts, but a receiver. Like he was going to be our tight end, and then when DeBoer came in, he moved him receiver. He said, "We're not even going to do that with you." Like he's 6'5", 6'6", real tall, real athletic. He runs pretty good routes, and he has short hands. So I'm high on him. But the kid I'm the highest on is Ryan Williams, 2-time
I don't know why
Alabama
Hey, look,
Gatorade Player of the Year.
I never said it was Isaiah Bond, man.
But
I'm
that's
deeper
the
than
only
that,
other
Dre.
loss.
You know it's not.
What you gonna say?
I'm deeper than that, Dre.
All right. Well,
Caden Proctor.
We just got him back.
He came back?
Yeah.
How did he come back?
That man went to Iowa and then said, "This ain't Bama. Let me go back."
Yeah, but
straight back to Bama.
But when he left, it hurt though. I didn't know he came back.
It was expected. He wanted to go home. He missed his mom. I was surprised he came back because that's the reason he went back to Iowa. He's from there. He missed his mom and wanted to go home to his mom. Like he was in contact with Iowa throughout the season. So, but he came back.
I really didn't realize y'all had lost so many damn people.
We didn't lose many more people than Georgia did, though. People don't look at it like that, but if you go look at the number of players that left Georgia and then go look at the number of players that left Alabama, there's not a huge difference.
Yeah, but there's one big difference. We didn't lose our head coach. Y'all lost your head coach. That's what the big deal is. I think that's what everybody's saying. I've heard. It's just like losing a Nick Saban. I get it. He's still around the program, but like in terms of when you're on the field in game situations, like there's a difference between your new coach and Nick Saban. Like that, I think that's what a lot of people are saying.
You lost way more. I mean, you lost like
I lost
8
a
more
couple more.
recruits.
Yeah, I lost a
But
couple
you
more
want to know the
guys, but
difference?
it's
You want
not.
to know the difference? Georgia didn't lose one 5-star recruit, so that stands out a little bit different when you lose 5 stars.
I mean, yeah, but I'm used to losing 5 stars. Maybe you not used to losing 5 stars because you don't have as many 5 stars like we got over here. But we be losing 5 stars because not every 5 star works out.
That's
Like
true.
we're about
Yeah,
to
but
have
it
a
looks
5 star
different
quarterback.
when
We
it's
about
when
to
it's
have a
four
5 star
five
quarterback
when
get
it's
bought.
4 or 5 stars walking out the door and Nick Saban. It looks a whole lot different than 4 or 5 stars, but he bringing in 8.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but we about to have another 5 star walkout. I'm fully expecting a 5 star quarterback to walk out as soon as the portal opens. I think Ty Simpson is gone, and that's a 5 star quarterback right there. I
I,
mean,
I,
shit. If you look at my running back room, it's nothing but 5 and 4 stars. My fourth string running back probably could come over there and get burned at Florida State right now. Like it's just different when you
your
have
fourth
those
string is
type of
what?
rosters. Running back,
Your fourth
he could
string.
come get burned at Florida State right now. My third string would start for y'all right now. Like
Maybe.
it's different. No, not maybe. Richard Young
Maybe.
was a 5 star. He was a 5 star. He's number
That
3
don't
on
mean
the
he'll
depth chart.
start though.
I mean, he would start for y'all. But it's just different because you have the depth to where you're going to. I mean, we have damn near nothing but 4 stars and 5 stars. You're gonna have to lose either 4 stars or 5 stars, and it happens every year. The only one that hurt outside of Downs, I wanted Little to stay. Outside of those two, I mean Bond. It is what it is. Like I'm not really tripping over Bond. We replaced the center that left with a better center, one of the best centers in all of college football, with 2 years of eligibility left before he can even enter the draft. Like, what did we really? I mean, corners you
Uh,
could say that,
hey,
but
hey, Dre. Hold on. Who is my starting running back right now? Do you know?
I can't even tell you that I do know. But what I do know is he's not better than Richard Young, Justice Haynes, Jam Miller,
I
Kevin
I could tell
Riley.
he came from your team.
Who is it? Roy Dell?
Yeah,
Oh man, Roy Dell ain't better than Roy Dell.
Wardell my starter right now.
Roy Dell was second string, some damn near third string over here. Jace was the starter. Jam got a lot of burn. Roy Dell saw playing time, but well, I'll say this: if you watched the game against Michigan, when we put number 22 back there, it looked different. Damn near 7 yards a carry. It looked different. But Saban is the type of guy, he's always going to go with the seniority on the team. And with Jace and Roy Dell both being seniors and Jam being, I think he was a sophomore last year. He was a sophomore. With those guys being the upperclassmen and behind that having those two freshmen, they weren't going to get a lot of burn. That's normal at Bama. Unless you're Caleb Downs and you come in and there's not really a safety in front of you, you're not going to get burned your freshman year. But Roy Dell ain't better than them.
Roy Dell from the Run the Rock this year, man.
I hope so.
Hey man, I forgot buddy name. I don't even know how to say the other dude name. His name started with a C. Saziz or some shit like that. He got a weird ass name.
I don't know. I mean, I think college football is going to start heating up here shortly, though. 'Cause, like, you got the portal opening up in about 3 weeks. I would expect to hear a lot of names coming out when that portal opens up. The guy that does a lot of the edits for the recruits, Hayes Fawcett, he said that this spring portal is about to go crazy. Like he already knows who's basically hitting the portal because he has to make the edits for these guys when they announce it. Right? He posted on Twitter. So he knows a lot of this stuff already. He said it's about to go crazy next month. So it should be entertaining. Should be a lot to talk about. So subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell. So that way you can be informed when we go live and we talk about the moves that are made in the portal.
Yeah, man. I mean, even if your college football team, you know what I'm saying, ain't gonna be the same ever again. You know, you can like, comment, subscribe too.
I mean, hey, at least my goat ain't run from the smoke. You know, your goat ain't want to come to the SEC because he said it was easier in the
Uh,
ACC. That's a
And
direct
he was
quote
right,
from
wasn't he? He was smart
that
and
was
right,
a
right? All
direct
right,
quote.
cool.
Yeah, he was ducking smoke. That you can call it what you want, but that's ducking smoke.
He played everybody he needed to in the ACC to get there. He got the big dub. Appreciate it.
I guarantee you would have went undefeated without a quarterback in the SEC. He was gonna make the damn playoffs.
You said what?
I said you go
Nah,
undefeated
not
in
without
the
your star
AC.
quarterback.
In the SEC, you go undefeated. You making the
Especially when
playoffs.
now when you got a quarterback looking like my backer look like I don't even know if dude ever played college football before. Did he ever play
Hey,
football in his life? That
it's
boy
just
looked like
different.
he's supposed to have been somewhere in the office filling out paperwork.
I'm telling you, it's different in the SEC. You would have did that same thing in the SEC. You was getting in the playoffs.
I mean, but you got to blame your coach for that. I mean, your coach did not have the proper backup quarterback on the team. This ain't the NFL. Man. It's college football. So you can do whatever you want.
Look,
So
I
he
mean,
chose
Tua
backup.
went down for us. That J Mick know about that when Tua went down. What happened when Tua went down? We throw in Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts not playing well in the championship game. Who do we throw in there? A freshman Tua. Tua
Y'all wasn't giving y'all didn't give
Tua
Jalen
gets
Hurts the
hurt.
opportunity to
We throw
perform
Mac
well.
Jones in there. Last year, Bryce goes down for 2 games. Jalen Milroe don't lose those games. He come in and win those games. And it looks all right when he came in there. It's about development. If your guy not developing those guys, blame him. Don't blame nobody but your coach.
But that's not even Mike Norvell guy. I don't even know why he's still on the roster. Dude should have left with his head coach. What's his name? Willie Taggart. That's when he should have left.
I mean, all I know is Georgia was beating y'all in the submission with who was the DC? Damn, why am I forgetting y'all DC name? The one that who was the DC J Mick that y'all had over there at Georgia? He's no longer the DC. I think he's an analyst now for y'all. His son was a walk-on quarterback.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
I for some reason I'm blanking on his name right now. But you what Muschamp.
Oh yeah,
Wasn't
yeah,
Muschamp. Y'all had Muschamp on the sidelines celebrating like he was a player because his walk-on son was in there dotting y'all up. It's nasty.
I mean, truth be told, the starters didn't even really play in the second half. Like we came out in the second half with the guys that's going to be playing for us this year. To be honest. So,
yeah.
But I mean, it was what it was, man. I mean, just know that if you got to play
So
Georgia,
we got people on the team that's coming back this year that didn't play at that bowl game.
Why they ain't play?
But I mean, why they didn't play in the bowl game?
Screwed. So they got screwed. They didn't care, I guess.
So y'all soft.
No,
that's what it
on
is.
something, man. It's called standing on business.
Nah,
man.
that ain't standing on business. Standing on business is, oh, okay, I feel like we got cheated. We finna go smack Georgia upside their head. Prove that we got cheated.
Nothing. It wouldn't have proved shit.
I'm just that would have it would have proved that it would have proved something. It for sure would have proved something. Y'all go in there with that second string guy. And I mean, y'all wouldn't go beat him anyway, but y'all could try.
Anyways, but I mean,
it wouldn't have changed nothing. We still wouldn't have been in the playoffs. We still didn't play a pointless ass bowl game.
Yeah, but it makes the outlook on your conference look better that you could beat a team like Georgia that was playing their guys. That's it would make the ACC look a lot better. That's what it would do. But
but Mike Norvell, I mean, he went along with the shit, so you really can't say nothing about it. I mean, I can't. Shit.
I mean, y'all really can't be mad at nobody but yourselves anyway, because y'all were one of the teams that voted against the 12-team playoff for this past season. We would have had the 12 team, y'all would have been in there. It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, that's a fact. And we'd have been in there too. But I mean, this is what it is.
Yeah, Bama stop that. We weren't gonna let y'all three-peat. No. We weren't gonna let y'all have nothing on y'all record that Gold Saban ain't have on his record. We can't have that happen. Ain't no three-peats.
I mean, that's fine. And y'all lost to Texas anyways, man. So I mean, so it's all good.
I mean, hey, look, we got 30 SEC titles now, though. So, it ain't been
CJ McWiley tried to avoid the rivals. See this? See I tried to avoid it. See what I'm saying? We done burned all the way to just straight beef.
No, we still having a conversation though. It's still
But
facts involved.
Jay, man, it's because Alabama sour, man. You know what I mean? They done lost the coach. They losing 5 stars. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what's going on. They hoping Debo come in and save the world. And if he don't, we'll be watching these same fans. Fire him!
We could
Fire him! We
we
don't
could
give
have
a
a
damn
real
about that
conversation
winning
about that.
time.
Have we ever seen a situation where a coach of Saban's caliber retires and you replace him with a guy of DeBoer's caliber?
I was gonna say Florida State, but I mean Jimbo wasn't the guy that you hire as caliber though, because I mean Jimbo
And
replaced
Yeah, I was gonna say us too. That's what I was gonna say.
Bobby, so
I mean, he was groomed by Bobby. I
Well,
guess
Jay Mick,
maybe, but
your coach, when you switch coaches, Jay Mick was kind of.
I mean Mark Rick.
mm,
I mean like Mark Rick wasn't worth a damn, man. Stop it. Nigga
Hey,
didn't
but
win us.
he was there every year, man. That man was there every year. He just got his head bust.
Niggas didn't win us not one national championship with I mean Mark Rick, man. I mean I praise him for like making like the Georgia program good, but the dude would always lose 2 to 3 games every season that he had no business losing, man.
y'all were the Steelers of college football. Y'all didn't have losing records. Y'all always had winning records, but y'all just didn't really get over the hump.
But
That's what y'all were under Rick.
but the difference was when we got, to the bowl games, we actually won the bowl games. That's the difference, though. I
Yeah.
can't say for Pittsburgh, man.
Well, the thing for me though, is everybody keeps saying, "Well, there's going to be a fall off because Saban left." Does everybody forget that Saban left the college before and we didn't see a fall off?
Yeah, but you're
LSU
talking about he
didn't.
left.
Yeah, LSU. I mean, yeah.
LSU won 11 games for 3 straight years after Saban left and won a national championship in that span.
Yeah, but the culture of the SEC was not like so. So I think the difference this year is that you got teams like Georgia, you got teams like LSU, Ole Miss, teams like that are gonna have good seasons. And so I just like my main thing is not the recruits because people still gonna go to Alabama. That's not gonna change or whatever. But for me, it's the in-game coaching. Like I think that's what the difference is. It's just the in-game coaching. And I mean I just think that y'all definitely took a step back from having Nick on the sideline. He's literally the greatest coach of all time. I mean, like that's like me saying that. I mean, the Patriots go from Bill Belichick in-game decision making to Gerard Mayo, and there ain't gonna be no drop off. I mean, there's definitely gonna be a drop off.
For sure, but I could also argue the last couple of years. I could point specifically to 2 years ago that Nick Saban's decision making has been spotty at times too. You go back to the LSU game last time we played them in their stadium. We lost that game because Nick Saban decided to go for 2 for no reason. There was no reason to go for 2 in that situation. It didn't change the outcome of what they had to do. We were up, if I'm not mistaken, we were up 4. It was either 3 or 4 points we were up. You kicked the field goal in that situation. You forced them to score a touchdown. But you go for 2, you don't get the 2. Now we were up. We were up. We were up 3. So you go for 2, you don't get the 2-point conversion. Now all they need is a field goal. If you just kick the extra point, you force them to go score a touchdown, right? But with us missing, with us not getting those extra 2 points, all they had to do was get that field goal, send it to overtime. That's a decision I can look at Saban and say, what were you thinking in that situation? And he came out and said, yeah, that was on me. I made a bad decision in that scenario. I could also go to like his coaching hires. This might sound crazy, but outside of the head coach, I think this is the best coaching staff I've had in a couple of years at least. Like the DC, I don't know if anybody watched Oklahoma State versus South Alabama last year. He shut that team down. South Alabama has no business shutting down Oklahoma State. They scored a total of 7 points. They got blown out in that game by South Alabama. That's the guy I got calling plays on defense for me now. In offense, I'm gonna have one of the most high-powered offenses in the country. That's what DeBoer does. He dials it up on offense.
Yeah, but I've maintained this in different forms. Like I don't worry about the Alabama offense. I think the offense is actually going to be better. I mean, because of your head coach, I think the defense is going to suffer. Like that's the position that I'm in. So
Yeah, I think it's
Maybe the
defensively
secondary.
too. I don't think it's offensively. I think it's defensively.
Maybe the secondary. If anything, you could maybe say the secondary is going to take a hit just because we are going to have some young guys starting in the secondary, right? Tony Mitchell, while he got in the games last year, if he's the starter this year, this is going to be his first time starting. Um, Malachi Moore coming back that was a big thing. Him deciding to come back for an extra year and not go to the league because I think he would have been a top 100 pick probably. And him deciding to come back, he's probably going to be that husky position for us, which is in Saban's defense was a star, right? It's basically just a hybrid between the linebacker and the safety and the corner because you got to be you play the slot sometimes too, but he's coming back. Then I just brought in Keon Sabb, who had starting experience and started 6 or 7 games for Michigan last year, so those guys should be all right. Damani Jackson, I have to see how Damani looks. He didn't look good at USC, but USC also didn't have a good defense, and they didn't really coach guys up over there. He's coming into a situation where Jalen Jones was coached up by my corners coach. Um, you had Diggs, Trayvon Diggs was coached up by my corners coach in the league because he was with Dallas the year that they turned that pass defense around. Now a lot of that was Quinn, but he played a role in that too in the development of a Trayvon Diggs. My safety coach, he helped develop Woolen and Sauce. So as far as though that goes, like I'm not worried about the development of those guys, and I still have the same D line coach. The biggest losses up front, obviously, are Braswell and Turner, but that has nothing to do with Saban leaving. I mean, they were leaving anyway. Braswell didn't have any eligibility left, and Turner's probably about to be a top 10 pick. Well, I'm not worried about that much, really. I think the defense should be straight. Might take a minute to get right, but I think we'll be straight because we're switching to a 4-2-5 this year.
Well, look, I don't know, man. I don't know. I still think Saban bring a lot of the intangibles that you can't speak of when they talk about coaching staff or whatever. Like when they talk about like just that time of the game where Nick Saban just turned into a different dude, man. Where he somehow can call the right play, somehow put his guys in the right position. You gonna miss that. I mean, yeah, the coaching staff may be talented, but Nick Saban just brings something different, bro. It's just something about that dude. You could be like, I don't think Nick Saban could win this one, and somehow he win that mother. Like it just happens like that. It's he got that ick factor. I mean, yeah, DeBoer just came from a different school. Yeah, he was in college football playoffs. He had some good seasons, but he also was in a different competition level. Like he going to a different competition level where he got to play some guys that's really out here coming for their check. The SEC ain't the Pac-12.
I agree, but when you look at some of the top coaches in college football, he hasn't lost to them. Like Dan Lanning, yeah, to me, it doesn't matter what conference Dan Lanning is. Dan Lanning is probably a top 10 coach in college football at Oregon. So he doesn't lose to Lanning. Sark, he's a top 10 guy, and they're probably one of the better teams in the SEC this upcoming year. He doesn't lose to Sark. He beat Sark twice. Past 2 years, he beat him. And one of the games was meaningful. I'll give you the first one wasn't really meaningful. There were some guys that sat out on both sides. But the second one was to get to the national championship. So
yeah, but you're also talking about him being with he had a quarterback like Penix, who probably a first round quarterback in the league. He also had McMillan, Romo Dunze, and Jalen Pope. Like them three dudes could go first, second, and third round, or Roman's definitely going first. And them two dudes, the other two, Polk and McMillan, could go in the second round. And then you also talking about the tackle that they had going in the draft. Like this draft is littered with Husky players, bro. It's littered with them. Like from the running back to the line to some of the defense. So I mean, and I'm not saying that Alabama ain't talented. I just think that there's going to be a difference. Like y'all don't have wide receivers like Washington had. I mean, your wide receivers are good, but they're not of that talent. So I mean, that's what like. There are some crazy people talking about Bama only going to win 7 games. I'm not buying that 7-8 game stuff. I'm more looking at y'all could probably win somewhere between 9 to 10. Like that's like probably where I'm at.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I I got the wide receivers coach to develop the guys that I have over here. Right? He brought his receiver coach with him, and I mean, the receivers, they give him a lot of credit for developing them to becoming the guys that they are. And I'm looking at that room. I think there's guys in that room that have potential. I think a lot of those guys just weren't used correctly by the last couple of OCs. Like, I mean, Bill O'Brien wasn't a good OC. And in this past season, we had some good games. We had some bad games from our OC. But once we didn't bring him back, he couldn't even get another job as an OC anywhere. He had to go take a tight end's job. I don't know. And DeBoer was one of the guys that developed Penix. So if I'm looking at it, if Jalen Milroe doesn't do what he needs to do and what they ask of him, they've got a guy behind him that they've been grooming for a year to be the starter.
Yeah, but we talking just throwing as a quarterback. You can't even put Penix and Milroe in the same conversation. I'm gonna just be
Nowhere
honest.
close to each other.
It's not even close. But I'm just talking about throwing, like throwing the football. They're not the same. Now, I mean, now like in terms of overall impact on the game, then you can have that conversation because I mean, Milroe's legs actually help him out a lot and actually make him a much better quarterback. But I mean, obviously, Penix, he can run, he just doesn't. I mean, I don't know if that's because of the torn ACLs that he's had, or he doesn't want to risk injury or anything like that. But Penix is not saying he's a dual threat guy, but I mean, he's a mobile quarterback. Like he can make plays, in terms of outside the pocket. So yeah, I mean, I'm just saying like there's a major difference when you're talking about having Michael Penix as your quarterback and having Jalen Milroe as your quarterback. And I mean, there's a lot of Bama fans that do not like Jalen Milroe at all. So
But I got my hands on something that I don't know if I can say that on the stream. I'll let y'all know after the stream what I got my hands on. But I'm pretty confident that Milroe will be able to run the offense pretty well. And like I said, if not, you throw Mac in there. But just, I mean, even if you watch the tape, they run a pin and pull scheme. So there's things you can do with that where you can, and they did it with Penix, but it just wasn't as effective as it would be with the Milroe, where they ran the pin and pull, some misdirection, and then it was like a quarterback keeper. And you would see green grass. Just Penix isn't the athlete that a Milroe is, right? Milroe has a second gang that he can hit when he takes off, right? Or a second gear. My fault. That was German, but a second gear he has that he can hit. And you saw it in games last year. Like guys would take an angle on him. You thought they were about to hit him, and he just turn on the jets and take off. And I don't know. I just got to see it because DeBoer also he's a guy that adapts to wherever he is. Like he isn't just gonna be pass happy just because that's what he was at Washington. If he thinks the strength of the team is going to be the run game, then you're going to see them run the ball a lot. A lot of people don't know they led the Pac-12 last year in rushing.
that's true. I mean, I guess no time going to tell. That's all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Time will tell. We're getting closer and closer, man. Days at a time.
I mean, I think next month we'll be able to tell a lot about everybody's teams just from the spring games. Maybe not everything, but you should know where guys are playing, what kind of plan they have for the guys they have in the system and stuff like that. Because at this point, it's kind of like a guessing game. I don't know who the right tackle is going to be. I don't know who my starting edge and my starting DN, because we don't have two edges in the system anymore. You have an end and an edge. So there's questions that need to be answered. But I mean, it's like that for everybody. You got questions at Florida State that you waiting to see what your guys are going to do. I think it's the same thing at Georgia. You have to see what these guys are going to do first. You might think you know what they're going to do, but until you actually see them do something, it's hard to say. Like we thought last year, Jermaine Burton was done for, and then he came out in A Day and had a decent A Day, and that kind of gave people a little more hope going into the season. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you know what I'm saying? We had an hour and 20-minute mark, man. If we covered everything, man, if y'all want to get into some more, we can. But yeah, I don't know. I'm ready to see the season. I'm kind of anxious. I'm ready for these Saturdays just keep flowing by.
You talking about the season, bro. I mean, like, and you got to hit the draft. You got to hit the draft first. Like we got to take this as like a step-by-step approach. So I mean, like the draft is like almost like I think it's like exactly a month away because I think it's April 23rd, so or something like that. So it's like 4 weeks away. So we almost at the draft though. So
almost, and then we got still a long stretch of for any type of football, any type of content.
You got draft, you got like voluntary OTAs, and then you got mini camps and all that. So yeah, I mean, it's a process, but we get through it. You know, I mean, like I said, we almost at the draft. I mean, the draft is exciting, man, because I mean, like teams can get better in the draft just by drafting well. So yeah, so I mean, like we only like 4 weeks away from that.
I mean, that's a fact. If you look at the Seahawks from 2 years ago, they absolutely killed their draft. You look at the Lions last year, they made some really good additions in their draft. So like a draft can definitely turn your franchise around. If you can hit, to me, I think I always like to look at like rounds 4 through 7. I think those are the most important rounds because I think those first 3 rounds are kind of like sitting at home. I can tell you, hey, I like this guy, and then a lot of the time you hear everybody say, oh, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy. A lot of the time those guys hit in those early rounds. But I think the guys that you get in the late rounds that hit and become really good players for your franchise, I think that has a bigger impact going forward. Like getting a Fred Warner late in the draft or a Puka Nakua late in the draft. You can go get a Diggs or a Devontae Adams late in the draft. That right there is what makes a difference because you should be getting impact players at the beginning of the draft. But if you can get those at the beginning and at the end of the draft, that's a recipe for success right there.
Yeah, but I think the thing that like I get what you're saying, but I think the thing that will kill your team is in the first 3 rounds of the draft if you don't hit on them picks like that. Like those are picks that you're expected to hit on, and let's face it, like every team don't hit on rounds 1 through 3, and I just think those are must-have picks that they gotta at least make an impact. I'm not saying they gotta be like, like Devontae Adams in the second round. Like I'm not saying that, but like they gotta make some sort of impact on your roster, and if they don't, it's not, like I mean, maybe not that current year, but like 2 to 4 years down the line, like, and you're gonna be not mad, but I mean, but you're gonna feel that impact of like not hitting on those picks. I mean, 1 through 3.
Oh yeah, I mean, I see it right now with Evan Neal. I'm praying and hoping he could turn around his play this upcoming year. Part of that was injury too, but if he doesn't improve his play, I'm looking at pick 7. Like, damn, that was a waste of pick.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is if he doesn't turn around, I would just move him to guard. Like I think he could play guard. Like he just not. He just. I mean, there's some guys that you think are going to be a tackle. Like a perfect example is like the Titans and a Skoronsky. They thought he was going to be a tackle. Halfway through the year, they made him a guard, and he started playing with us. I mean,
Yeah.
Everybody coming out said he should have been a guard though.
Yeah, it basically was said if he doesn't work out at tackle, he can be a generational type of guard. So I don't know. We'll see. There have been reports from Jordan Renan, who covers the Giants, that there have been conversations ongoing about him potentially moving to guard because we did bring in a Luminor from the Raiders, and he potentially could play right tackle, especially because we got their O line coach over here now too. So we'll see what happens with Evan Neal. But I agree, if it doesn't work, you have to move him to guard and see if you can get some production that way.
I mean, my other thing about Skoronsky is like this might not be the right mindset for every team in the NFL, but for me, I do not like drafting guards in the top. Like unless that dude about to be you're without a shadow of a doubt, you know he's going to be a Hall of Fame guard. I do not like drafting guards in like the top 15. There's just something. There's just something about me and my philosophy that I feel like you know. I mean, you can find a guard anywhere. You can find a guard outside the first round that could be generational. I mean, possibly. I'm not saying that's always the case, but I mean, for me, for like the Titans, I think they were at 11 last year. Like they could have drafted another impact player other than getting Skoronsky. Like you know, like I'd have to look at the draft and how the draft fell. But I'm sure. I thought they picked their. I mean, Skoronsky before Chicago picked their tackle. I thought.
That's a possibility. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, it's right around the same area, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like they could have got the tackle that the Bears. I just can't remember his name right now. I think he came from Tennessee or whatever. And so they could have got him instead against Skoronsky, and they could have had a tackle. So I mean, situations like that. Like I
they
mean,
could have got the Steelers tackle too.
Yeah, the Georgia kid, Broderick Jones.
Yeah, Broderick. They could have got Broderick. Yeah. There was some options there.
Yeah. So like I mean, maybe I'm scarred because my coach took a guard at Cole Strange at 26. It's just like guards to me, like throughout my fandom of being a Patriot fan, like we've taken guards everywhere. And I mean some of the best guards we've gotten outside of the second round. Like we've gotten guards rounds 3 through 6 that played on Super Bowl teams. And so that's just that guard, but that's just the way I look at guard. Like Joe Tooney, like we drafted Joe Tooney. He's on the Chiefs now. We didn't draft Joe Tooney in the first round. So and that's just the way that I've always looked at it, though.
Yeah, when we won our Super Bowls, we didn't have a lot of first rounders on that offensive line. I think we might have had one. I had to go back and look. But I don't think those guys were taken in the first
only got
round.
one. Shit, I think I only got one on mine right now.
But I mean, like that's the one position in football where I feel like you don't have you know, like on the offensive line, I don't think you need the best talent. Like they just have to play together like a unit. And if you can get 5 guys that can play as one, then I mean that's all you need. Like I mean, you don't need 5 first round picks on your old line. That's just never been the case.
Yeah,
I think right now Lane Johnson is my only first rounder because Landon Dickerson 2nd round, Jordan Mailata 7th round, Cam Jurgens 2nd round, and Tyler Steen if he start would be 3rd round.
Yeah, I think you're right, J-Mick. I think it is important that you have that chemistry. And that was one of the things that kind of irritated me last year because I saw my team rotating offensive linemen before anybody got hurt. They just continued to rotate guys, and that was, to me, that's a problem because if you're going into the season without these guys having a set rotation and getting used to each other and just getting comfortable with the guy that's next to them, it's not going to lead to a lot of success.
Right, yeah.
You gotta move as a unit, man. It's one. You know what I'm saying? We if you create it perfect, if you move in unison, it's kind of hard to penetrate. You know what I mean?
I mean, I played left tackle in high school, not at any other level, but first thing my coach said to me was, that guy next to you, that's your best friend now. When you go to lunch, he goes to lunch. You go somewhere else, he goes that same place. Like he wanted us to basically be best friends. So when we were out on the football field, we kind of knew what each other was going to do without having to think too much about it. Because once you get to know somebody like this, like on the basketball court, if you've been playing basketball with somebody for years, you know exactly when he's going to cut. You know exactly where he likes the ball. It's different. So that chemistry is definitely important. I agree.
Yeah, and if you notice, you can see it in teams too. Like you can tell when the guard and tackle are like really really tight. Cause that side of the line is like you could tell they it just hit different. You're like, oh dang, like then the other side you looking at it like why they look like that? It's like because they ain't got it together yet. They friendship ain't where it need to be yet.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's definitely important. I mean that was one of the things I heard that during training camp. Evan Neal said, "Yeah, I don't even know who's sitting next to me half the time." I said, "Well, that's not a recipe for success right there. You don't even know who's next to him."
That's rough.
That's rough. That's
well,
rough.
I mean, you need a leader on your offense line. Somebody has to step up and be that leader. Every offense line needs it, but
you want it to be the
every
center
offense line has it.
He wanted to be the center because he can reach both sides. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I'm interested to see what y'all look like at center this upcoming season because I don't know, man.
I think Cam gonna be all right.
Yeah,
I think
all
Cam
right.
Jurgens
And
gonna be
Hall
all
of
right.
Fame is different though. Like, all right, ain't no Hall of Fame.
Jason Kelsey wasn't always a Hall of Famer either, man.
Yeah, I get that, but y'all wasn't
I ain't
always
saying it
this
ain't gonna be
quality of
growing pains,
team.
but it's gonna be all right. I think he's gonna be able to do it. I think he's gonna be able to execute a lot of things that Jason Kelsey was. Maybe not to the same extent because he got to learn the game at center in the NFL. So he's probably not gonna be as good. But the last 2 seasons, in the offseason, he has played 0 right guard. He played all center snaps.
Cool.
He's been working as the center for 2 years. Because in 2022, what people don't know, Jason Kelsey went and got surgery. So Cam Jurgens played the whole OTAs and training camp as the center with Jalen and the offensive line. So he been playing our center for a minute. Now he's gonna have to get in and get live snaps. He played a little bit in 2022 when Jason Kelsey went down a couple times and it looked decent. But we're gonna see him full time now. So I'm more worried about right guard than I am center. I don't know what Tyler Steen brings to the offensive line right now. I haven't seen but 9 snaps.
Yeah, Tyler Steen at right guard. That's kind of a because I mean at Vandy he was a left tackle. At Bama for the year he was a left tackle. Right guard.
Yeah, I know he's a tackle, but I think they've been training him there. So he played 9 snaps for Cam Jurgens.
I remember last year they were saying it during the draft process that he was probably going to project to be more of a guard in the league.
He got short arms.
I just got to see it first.
I hope that's who start. I want to see him start. You know what I mean? We put a 3rd round into him, like y'all said. That first 2, 1, 2, and 3, usually crucial rounds. I would like to see him get on the field. Sidney Brown came out of the 3rd round last year. If he didn't tear his ACL, he was having a pretty decent season towards the back end.
Yeah, I was high on him coming out of college. So
I like Sidney Brown, man. He got to slow it down though. He gotta have that governor in his head to say, hey, I can't go 100% speed past this dude and miss. He got to slow his feet. He got to gather his feet as he moving quick at the same time.
It might be trying to move Ringo to safety too.
I don't know. They haven't tried him one time at safety yet.
To me, that's crazy. I think he could be.
I think he is safety too, but they haven't tried one snap. So I'm assuming somebody like him at corner. But we got a new DB coach in here this year.
So your 2 starting safeties are Gardner Johnson and a dude that got ran over by Davis Webb. Reed Blankenship got ran over by Davis Webb.
I don't like Reed Blankenship that much, but I guess so. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. Now. I think y'all will bounce back. I think y'all will be better.
We'll be better than you.
I mean, if y'all don't do nothing with it don't really matter. I don't need to win the division to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
We don't need to win it either, but oh.
Mm-hmm. Hey, it's the truth. I ain't been there in a while, but still. We gonna get back.
J-Mick, you gonna let him talk to you like that, bro?
You probably ain't hear
it. I heard it, but man, I got 6 Super Bowls, man. Like there's not much you could say to make me mad or emotional or nothing like that. Like when you lead the league in Super Bowl wins, I mean, it is what it is.
Nah, that's a fact. I mean, y'all lead the league in Super Bowl wins, but I mean, when it comes to the NFC East, what are y'all 1-3?
I mean, we beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. So.
Should have been 0-4 if Donovan McNabb didn't come drunk. Should have been 0-4. He throwing up in the huddle and shit because he hung over.
Look, y'all was not beating us in 05, bro. That was a powerhouse.
We probably had a better team than y'all, bro. We was the better team.
Hell, y'all, what are you smoking?
We was the better team, man.
Y'all might have had CEO, but you can have the better team. I can you say you had the better team? We had the better quarterback.
It's better than
We
y'all. We should have beat y'all, bro.
We had the better O line. We had the better defense. The only position
Who's your running back? Who's your running back? Your running back was better than Westbrook.
I mean, Westbrook was in his last game.
I think it was Dylan. Was it Dylan your running back?
Who?
Dylan. Wasn't Corey Dylan your running back back then?
Yeah, I mean, Corey Dillon was better than
Nah, we not gonna do that, J-Man.
Corey Dillon was good though. I like the Corey Dillon.
He was good, but he wasn't Westbrook.
Hey, it's only one person on that team I can't slander because that's my cousin, and I can't say nothing about him.
I don't know, man. I be slandered. Hey, one of my cousins went to Auburn. I slander that man any chance I get. Not on no real life shit, but when it comes to football,
that was a Super Bowl MVP. I ain't gonna do him nasty like that. You know what I mean? He did his thing.
Nah, that's a fact.
I mean, he got a Super Bowl MVP with the GOAT. I can't say nothing. he got something. Hey, look, only could dream of, brother.
Did you get a chance to watch that Dynasty show on Netflix yet?
I'm on episode like 3 or 4, something like that.
Oh, so you get to the good part.
Yeah, so I had to look up that year, right? That 04-05 year. That man Corey Dillon has 1,600 yards, bro. Like, there's no way you could tell me in that year that Westbrook had better stats than him. There's no way. 1,600 yards.
Was a better running back, bro.
Get the fuck up out of here with that, man. Hell no.
Westbrook was the better running back.
I mean, career wise, I'll give you that, but I mean, not in that 04-05 season. There's just no way.
Oh no,
we was the better team, man. We supposed to beat y'all, man. We just had a drunk quarterback.
Y'all weren't even the favorites in the game to win the game. What you mean you had a better team?
We supposed to beat y'all, man.
Y'all were what, 5
we fumbled the rock, man.
I mean, hell no. Y'all, I mean, like both times you played us, y'all were not the better team. Both times.
Oh, I definitely shouldn't have beat you in 2018, but you let Nick Foles pull off a miracle. That's fine.
I mean, like I said, Super Bowl losses don't. I mean, when you have multiple championships, I mean, Super Bowl losses don't hurt. They really don't hurt as much as people think they do.
Nah, that's a fact. I know how that feel like with Alabama. It don't hurt as much when you don't win the national championship, when you don't win so many already.
And you mad in the moment, but I mean, like 5-6 years down the line, you shrug your shoulders, whatever.
Nah, that's a fact. Did you watch the Dynasty show yet, J-Beck?
I don't gotta watch it, man. I lived through it. I don't gotta watch that. I mean, like literally, I was living first Super Bowl. I was in high school, and then I went away to Atlanta for school. But I mean, I followed the team very, very closely, so I don't like. And I mean, from the people I know around me that's been watching it, saying that they don't even like it. So, and then they're saying it's way too much slanted towards trying to bury like Belichick. I mean, so that's what people telling me. But I was never gonna watch it because, like I said, I lived through it as a fan. Like that's like. I mean, like that would be like asking the Chief fan in 10 years, like if they had like some kind of doc, are they gonna, I mean, like watch they documentary about they dynasty.
I felt like it came out too fast.
It is kind of fast because like if they were to put out a Saban documentary right now, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. They put that bitch out in like
it just seemed like it didn't get it didn't even like the team ain't really even like really over the legacy of the two that's been there. Like they're not. Well, the New England Patriots fan base wasn't warranting a documentary of something that just happened. Like documentaries are meant to be documented later.
Well, I think the reason they're doing it now, it's not right because you think about it, the dynasty was over when Tom Brady left the team, and that was like 3 to 4 years ago. So I mean, there is,
some of your fans who still ain't know that shit.
I mean, I was never mad at Tom. Tom played here 20 years, man. Like,
no. Like most of the fans I know, they're not mad at Tom. They're more mad at Bill for not kind of converting to the times and helping Tom out to keep him there. Most of the fans I talk to.
I'm not even mad. Like Tom Brady was gonna. I mean, just a Bill's coaching style. Man, he wasn't gonna say that forever. I'm not mad at Bill Belichick for that. I'm more mad at Bill for leaving my team in the position that it's in current day. That's what I'm more mad at him for than just letting Brady walk out the door, to be honest. Because I mean, yeah, the defense good, but I mean the offense is literally personnel wise the worst offense in the league. So that's what I'm mad at Bill for, like not the whole Tom Brady stuff.
But be real, you wasn't ready for a documentary right now.
I wasn't gonna watch it regardless. I wasn't. I mean, like I feel like when
You
you
wouldn't.
like,
So if it came out in let's say it came out after Tom Hall of Fame, you know, all that, maybe another 7 years.
no,
It wouldn't have been a little bit more interesting. I mean, maybe not for you, but maybe for another fan that might be like,
I mean,
I'm willing to go back and watch it now because it's
I mean,
actually
maybe,
warranted.
I mean, maybe from outside fans that aren't Patriot fans, but if you're a real Patriot fan, especially you from the region, man, you done live. You literally lived through this, like. You know, I mean, like that's like asking like Dre, like you know, I mean, like doesn't need a doc for like the Saban years. I mean, he lived through it. Like, I'm like, unless you're trying to get some information that you think that might be in the doc that just wasn't out there, then maybe. But like, I mean, I lived through that, man. So I lived through all the drama from like a week to week off season basis. So I mean, everything they talking about, I knew about, and what I've been hearing is like in the Dynasty documentary, like they don't even bring up like Vince Wilfork, and Vince Wilfork was there for multiple championships, and he's not even being brought up. So that's how I know that. That's how I know like the doc ain't really official.
That's crazy. That's like the Florida doc. I didn't watch the Florida doc on Netflix, but I heard they left a lot of stuff out of that documentary too.
But maybe that's why documentaries are meant to be written when people that aren't so hands-on aren't around. Then you start getting the juicy stories. Like that's what a lot of people don't like about The Last Dance too. Like they felt like Jordan was too hands-on. A lot of people feel like Bill Belichick was too hands-on, and they feel like Urban Meyer had too much say in the Florida doc. Like when you got the people that are the ones with the juice that they want to get dropped, you ain't gonna get what you want out of that documentary.
Well, I think the thing about
But I think in
Dance,
15 years when they do that Patriots documentary again and Bill Belichick ain't living or whatever, I think it's gonna be totally different.
and I think the thing with The Last Dance was that was Michael Jordan's essentially documentary. Like he had complete control of that thing. So obviously anything like that's the one thing about these documentaries sometimes is like you know, you got to do your research before you watch these things. You got to understand like whose point of view the documentary is coming from. Like, you know, I mean, because in media, that's a very important thing is in terms of point of view. And so you know, I mean, for MJ or for even this like dynasty one for the Patriots, like they are definitely burying Bill Belichick, and I get it. Like he wasn't the perfect head coach, perfect GM, or or football guy, whatever. But to make it like a hit piece on one guy that's partly responsible for your dynasty, I think that's kind of not what they should have did. Like I mean, there's ways that you could have bashed Bill Belichick in the dynasty, I mean, documentary. But I think from what I've heard and from people I know that watched it and they've told me about it, I think it's just a tad bit, and I mean, like excessive on like, I mean, trying to make him look bad personally. And I'm not a Bill Belichick truther either. Like I'm not that guy. So I mean, so for me saying that, it's got to hold some kind of weight.
I don't know if they made. I don't know. I think they did a little bit too much, but I think it was just his natural being made it enough. Like just seeing him in it, like.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Bill Belichick that we all see in the media is not the same Bill Belichick. Like in terms of team means or he talking to the player. Like he hated the media, so he never gave the media anything. And so like that's what we're trying to tell people. Like the Bill Belichick that you've seen at the podium versus the Bill Belichick that the coaches seen on the like the Bill Belichick that the players dealt with on an everyday basis. Those are two different guys. So
True.
Nah, I like listening to the old players talk about Belichick though. Like the players that actually played for him when they tell their stories, like on podcasts and stuff like that. That's dope. Like, who is it that has his podcast? Edelman? Is it Edelman that got the podcast? Yeah, his is dope when he talks about the stories. But that's
but then Asante is totally opposite.
I mean, like the thing about Asante is like he ain't pay that man, so like that man has just got like an actor grind. That's just all that is.
I think y'all should have paid him.
But I don't know why he's mad though. Like, building franchise him and none of that stuff. He let him go to the Eagles and get paid. So I mean, he probably wanted to stay with the Patriots, but they, the thing about a lot of these dynasty teams like us and the Chiefs and the Cowboys and not like a lot of these dynasties, they don't pay the corners like that. Like corners for the Chiefs, I've heard from Chief fans, is not a valued position, and they feel like they could just draft a guy in day 2 or day 3 and just replace you, and they put more value on guys like Chris Jones, which I don't blame them for.
That's kind of how the Eagles feel about like drafting offensive line. Like people are like, oh, y'all need to get offensive line first round, and all the fans that's like really locked in is like, nah, we got Jeff Stoutland like second, third round of word, fourth round word.
But that's interesting though with the corners, because corner is like one of those. Why not? I mean, I guess it makes sense because if you're confident hitting on your corners consistently, you're always gonna have corners on cheap deals. Because corner is one of those positions that gets paid a lot of money. So if you can consistently hit on those corners, I mean, that helps you to be able to retain a lot of the other pieces on your roster.
Corner is beneficial on another market too, and that's what's kind of fun about the cornerback. Like cornerback market is going to continue to rise as long as wide receiver markets continue to rise. As long as the person I got to stop is making more money, you're going to pay me more money to stop him.
No, that's a fact. And I think we're going to see better athletes going forward at both of those positions because of some other things that have been happening in the NFL the last couple of years and just the development of football altogether. But that's a conversation for a different day.
Yeah.
All right, man. We had the 47-minute mark, man. I think we're going to wrap this up, man, because next week we got our 10-team draft coming back live and in effect. Y'all know where the catch is at, man. Y'all know how to find us. So we're gonna be promoting it throughout the week, man, to try to get this thing rolling. We haven't finalized the list. I would have gave y'all the teams, but we gonna have something interesting for y'all, man. We're gonna get it in. Y'all know how the 10-team draft go. They've been fun. They've been entertaining. We love coming out every Saturday and spending time with y'all. If it's your first time here, man, and you listen to the playback on this, like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Ding that bell so you don't miss none of the times we live, and you'll get a chance to catch us every time we out here. Get some good information on your college football team. You can get some competitive conversations over your NFL team. And we're just gonna have some fun, man. So we enjoy y'all every time, man. And y'all know what it is. Until next time. Peace.
And while you at it, follow the Twitter page too. We're gonna have some things going on the Twitter page at CheckDown NFL. Go follow that, and we'll let you know over there when we're live and stuff like that too. But there might be some other things dropping on the Twitter, so stay on the lookout.
All right, we out.